everyone, welcome back to the channel. Ignore the blank room and the blank walls. I actually just moved into this apartment, but you don't care about that. Today we are talking about Endless Ocean Luminous for the Nintendo Switch. Now this reveal was kind of out of nowhere. Kind of surprised to see Nintendo even, revisit this game. I got props here today. I've liked this franchise ever since it came out, man. This is the second one, Endless Ocean Blue World. There was also just Endless Ocean, the first one. I will be mentioning this one later in the video, kind of comparing the two. I don't usually like doing that, but I feel like it proves a little bit of a point. Anyway, let's get to it. So Endless Ocean Luminous has been pretty controversial in terms of the reception by reviewers. Currently it is reviewing pretty poorly. It's getting lots of like 4 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s. And on one hand, I kind of get it. I get why they're being critical in certain things about this game, which I will talk about. I can kind of see that. But I feel like they're all missing like one key thing. Like they're not talking about the thing that makes this game so good. So today we're kind of going to go over the good and the bad. If you're thinking about buying this game, definitely watch the whole video. And if you already bought this game, let me know in the comment section below. We do have a Discord where we do dives and stuff like that. So let's get to the video. All right, so I really don't know how to start this because, like I said, there is good and there is bad. And I feel like there's more good than bad for sure. So I guess I'm gonna go like back and forth on the two. I really want to start the video off by saying, if you are looking for an exploration game that is truly cozy, okay, that you can just kind of take your time and explore things and just kind of like not think about too much, this is the game for you. And that's exactly what I wanted from this game. I feel like this is super important to start with because my expectations for this game, and I like the old ones, and they had elements that this game didn't have, but my expectations for this game was I want to dive and just look at fish, take pictures of fish, and really just find like a cozy, relaxing game that I could play in the summer or, something that I could play like before bed or something like that. And I will say, this game delivers on that. The atmosphere of this game, the variety in the fish, I think there's like 500 plus species in this game. It hits on all of that, which is super important for a game like this. The exploration is fun as well. It's varied. There are, some points of interest on the map or maps. We'll get into that too. But I really just feel like we got to set the tone by saying this game, it's fun to explore. It looks pretty good. There's a ton of fish and ton of areas to explore. And I think that is the most important thing about this game. And the most important thing that you should know is that this game is fun and the exploration is good. But here's the part that I think it's getting low review scores for. There are 3 main modes in this game, right? There are group swim, which is the big, multiplayer online swim that you can invite people or go into people's, via a code. You can go to their ocean and swim with them. There is the single player dive, which you can, no time limit. You just go out in the ocean and just explore and whatever. And there's also a story mode. Now the story mode is not good. It's pretty bad actually. So in previous games, and I'm talking mostly about this game right here, Blue World, there was a pretty robust story and, you were part of this like dive team and there were multiple NPCs, multiple characters that you can interact with. You could actually get out of the water and you had sort of this like island hub base. In this game, there's none of that. The story mode consists of different chapters where basically this AI voice, literally they say it in the game, it's an AI like robot voice, like a Siri voice, kind of telling you about this uninteresting story. The story mode in this game is really bad. Like if I were to give a score to the story mode, I would say it's like a 2 out of 10. It does get better the more you play it, But the story mode basically consists of this. It sends you on like micro missions. And some of these chapters, there's no gameplay at all. It's this AI robot voice telling you about events with a cutscene, happening, and the chapter's done. And it's very strange. And even the missions where you are doing things, you're just kind of like discovering 10 different species of a fish, or you're just exploring in this very small area. It's weird. The story mode is definitely weird. And another part that I swear I like this game. The story mode is just the worst part. So we got to kind of get over this. But the most confusing part about the story mode is that it kind of locks you out of it. And you have to progress in the other modes and then go back to the story mode to complete it. So for example, to go to like chapter 2, you need to discover 500 total new species of fish. So you'll get to a point where you are doing this story mode and then you have to stop and then play either online or single player, discover more fish, and then go back to the story mode. So it kind of feels like more of an unlockable than anything else. And like I said, the story mode is not fun. So it's like, what am I working towards? I don't want to do the story mode, but like I kind of have to, because like that's the only little bit of lore that you have. But I don't know. The story is like, it's there. It's basically the same thing, like your exploration. There's a story about like some coral. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention too much to it. Because it's just uninteresting. So if you're going into this game wanting this big ocean story where you're like a researcher and things like that, this is not the game for that. The other modes, though, thankfully, are really good. So depending on what type of player you are, there are two other modes. The first one is the solo dive, where basically that's it. I mean, that's what it is. You dive by yourself. You dive in this procedurally generated map, which I think is really cool too. We got to stop here for a second. Every time you dive in this game, the map that you're diving on is completely different from the last one, which is super cool. Like that to me is endless hours of entertainment. But the solo dive it's cool. There's no time limit, and you might be like, why do you keep saying that? But the other mode does have a time limit, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Anyway, there's no time limit in the solo dive. It's basically you discovering fish, kind of, relaxing, taking your time. And I feel like this is where the game shines. Not as bright as the other mode, but this is like the really just relaxing gameplay that I was talking about in the beginning. If you like swimming around by yourself, discovering fish, discovering different landmarks and stuff like that, this is the mode for you. And like I said, no time limit, so it's kind of up to you when you want to end it. The next mode, honestly, is the reason why you should buy this game. The multiplayer mode is kind of an anomaly. It's a little crazy because this game supports up to 30 players online. So basically what you do in multiplayer is you basically create a lobby. And when you create the lobby, you get a password, and you can share that password with anyone you know. Like I said before, we do have a Discord where we just kind of like post codes in there and people can dive if they want. It's really cool. Multiplayer is so seamless. I have not had a problem at all with the multiplayer in this game. No drops, no weird lag from other players. Like, you know how sometimes you're playing a multiplayer game and like you're controlling fine, but then you see other players and they're kind of like moving like a robot or like glitching and stuff. None of that. I can't say enough good things about the multiplayer in this game. Some really cool features. You're all dropped randomly in this map, so you kind of have to go and swim with each other. You can find treasure, which then you can mark for other players to find. It's just a really cool and inventive use of the multiplayer in this game. You can meet up, you can do emotes. Again, you can like mark treasure and mark points of interest. I really like that. Now, the thing about the multiplayer, which I don't think is that big of a deal, is that as soon as you start a lobby, it's only good for an hour. And at first when I saw that, I was like, wait a second, that doesn't seem cozy. That doesn't seem relaxing. The opposite of relaxing for me is a time limit. However, the time limit is not on the screen. It doesn't, continuously bug you. It does remind you when you have 3 minutes left that, okay, your time is about to run out. And I guess, those 3 minutes are kind of like, oh, I have to rush to do things. But I feel like an hour, diving around with your friends or, whatever, is more than enough time. And like I said, every map is different. So honestly, I kind of like that it's only an hour, because after an hour, it kicks you out. And then you can kind of, make another lobby and have a brand new map. So there is a time limit with multiplayer. It's a little odd that they did that, but it's not a deal breaker. I think it's okay. So some other things I want to touch on for this game, because it doesn't offer a ton more than that. There are achievements in this game, and I think this goes back to some of the bad in this game. So there is a tablet, they call it, of 99 achievements. Now, here's the thing. I like the idea of achievements. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch does not have achievements. Other consoles do. But this game has like built-in achievements like into the game. And I like the idea of having 99 quests to do, like mini quests to do. It doesn't tell you what the achievements are. So like you'll randomly get an achievement and it'll cross one off of that list of 99. So it's like, I like the idea of achievements, but it's done so poorly in this game that the achievements kind of mean nothing to me. So I don't know, that was kind of a weird thing. One of the cool things to kind of give this game more purpose, once you complete a dive, either solo, multiplayer, you do get a form of currency and you also level up. Now the level up system doesn't really do anything in terms of like how your character acts or like different powers that you get. It basically lets you unlock cosmetic items like different color wetsuits or different emotes, different stickers that you can use. And you can actually put stickers on your wetsuit, which is kind of cool. I feel like the wetsuit variety is not great. There are some cool looking ones. There's a lot of colors to choose from, but in terms of like patterns or just like funny outfits, I feel like that's a little bit lacking, but at least there's a purpose to all of this, right? So you can unlock, bits of the story mode, you can unlock cosmetics, you can unlock emotes that you can use online, and Nintendo has already said that they will support this game with different in-game events, like different online events with different species and stuff like that. So there are unlockables and customization. It's not like groundbreaking or life-changing, but it's there. It's pretty cool. One thing I will say about this game, just to wrap it up a little bit, and I'll give you my score. Compared to the old games, and I hate doing this, I hate, looking to the past and seeing like, oh, what was there? What's not here this time? The older game had a little bit more going for it. And like, if you're not used to the series, if you're new to the series, you might not realize what they've taken out from the previous games. But some weird omissions, like in this game, you can't, so in the older games, you could pet fish, you could feed fish, and it was kind of cool because like once you pet fish and then you fed them and stuff like that, they would level up, so you would learn more about them. So there is no feeding in this game, there is no petting. Also in Blue World, there was kind of like a stun gun where like there would be fish that could attack you. And some of you are like, thank God they took that out. But I do think that I'm missing a little bit of danger here. Like when I'm swimming around and I see this giant creepy shark, nothing happens. Like I can swim right up to it. And I think like the ocean having a bit of danger makes you kind of appreciate like the safe parts of it. I don't know. It's kind of just something I've been thinking about, but there's no danger in this game. There's no petting. There's no feeding. The other game had like a hub area where you could like customize and things like that. The story mode, I've already touched on that, but there's one NPC in the game and there's an AI voice. It just kind of seems like this game was you know, a little rushed, or like things were kind of cut at the very last second, just to stay within their budget, just to get this game out. But overall, here are my thoughts. Here are my final thoughts on Endless Ocean Luminous. I think it is a good time. I don't think it's a groundbreaking game. If I would have to give it a score, I probably would give it like a low 70, which is still good. I mean, that's a C. 7 out of 10 is like a good score. I'd probably give it like a 70. Which is kind of low for me because I'm pretty generous, but like I think 70 is pretty good. It has a couple modes that I think save it. The multiplayer is amazing. I didn't even touch on things like you can discover sunken ships and like ancient ruins and stuff. You can discover caves that you can swim in. Like, the multiplayer is so cool. And the fact that you can do that with up to 30 people is crazy. And the multiplayer is flawless. That's like my biggest takeaway. The solo dives, relaxing, no time limit. You can kind of just do what you do. 500 species. The graphics are pretty good, although some of the fish have kind of bad textures. The graphics are pretty good. So overall, I would recommend this game, but just know what you're getting into. Multiplayer is king here. The story mode is really bad. But overall, I had a good time, and this is like the exact game that I want. Just a cozy underwater experience. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Did you buy this game? Are you thinking of buying this game? Are you not buying this game after watching this video? Let me know in the comments, and I will respond to you. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.